Hello everyone. Today we'll explore the fascinating story of America's creation. Long before Europeans arrived, vast ancient lands thrived with diverse indigenous cultures. For millennia, these peoples lived in harmony with nature, building intricate societies. Complex civilizations across immense continents flourished, shaping landscapes and spirits. Countless tribes, nations flourished, each with unique traditions, languages, and beliefs. From the Arctic to the Amazon, vibrant cultures defined this pristine world. Ancient mounds, grand cities stood testament to their advanced understanding. Indigenous peoples honored the land, their lives interconnected with its cycles. Spiritual ceremonies, oral histories preserved their heritage for generations. They navigated rivers, hunted vast herds, cultivated diverse crops. Corn, beans, squash formed the three sisters central to life. Elaborate trade networks connected distant communities, sharing goods and knowledge. They built canoes, explored waterways, leaving indelible marks on the continent. Diverse languages, stories, artistic expressions enriched every corner. From the mighty Inca to the sophisticated Maya, complex societies thrived. Their wisdom regarding land stewardship remains relevant even today. Unseen by outsiders, thriving societies developed uniquely undisturbed. A tapestry of cultures, each thread vital to the continent's spirit. Their legacy is profound, deeply rooted in the land. A world of incredible beauty, self-sufficient, and ancient beyond measure. This vibrant era laid the foundation for America's complex future. A new era dawned, driven by ambition and curiosity across oceans. European explorers embarked on perilous voyages across uncharted seas. Christopher Columbus's arrival in 1492 marked a pivotal moment. It ushered in an age of exploration and profound change. Spanish conquistadors sought golden glory, establishing vast empires. Other European powers soon followed, eager to claim their share. The promise of new routes and riches fueled their relentless quests. Navigators pushed boundaries, confronting unknown dangers and vast distances. Encounters between Europeans and indigenous peoples profoundly reshaped history. New crops like potatoes and corn transformed European diets. The Columbian exchange brought both new goods and devastating diseases. Empires grew, driven by conquest, trade, and colonial ambition. Explorers like Magellan circled the globe, proving Earth's sphericity. Vast amounts of silver and gold flowed to Europe. This era forever altered global power dynamics and economies. New technologies in shipbuilding and navigation made voyages possible. Dreams of mythical cities like El Dorado spurred endless expeditions. The desire for new trade routes to Asia was a primary driver. European powers claimed vast territories, often with brutal force. Settlements emerged, marking the beginnings of European presence. This laid the groundwork for future colonial expansion. The British, French, and Dutch established colonies along the eastern seaboard. Jamestown in 1607, the first permanent English settlement, faced harsh conditions. Settlers battled disease, famine, and conflicts with native tribes. The Pilgrims, seeking religious freedom, landed at Plymouth in 1620. They forged a new society based on their strong convictions. Over decades, 13 distinct colonies grew, each unique. New England developed around fishing, shipping, and small farms. The middle colonies were known for diverse agriculture and trade. Southern colonies focused on large plantations, tobacco, and enslaved labor. Indentured servants and enslaved Africans formed crucial parts of labor. Colonial towns grew into vibrant centers of commerce and culture. Self-governance began with local assemblies and town meetings. Education, often religious, played a significant role in communities. Native American interactions varied from trade to violent conflict. The French and Indian War reshaped colonial boundaries and alliances. European rivalries extended to the New World, impacting settlements. Frontier life was harsh, requiring resilience and constant adaptation. Religious revivals, like the Great Awakening, swept through colonies. Diverse immigrant groups contributed to a growing cultural mosaic. From small outposts, a vibrant new society began to emerge. These settlements, though distant, were developing unique American identities. However, these colonies remained under the distant British Crown's rule. A growing sense of self-governance emerged, clashing with imperial policies. Tensions mounted over taxation without representation and trade restrictions. Acts like the Stamp Act ignited fierce resistance and boycotts. The cries for liberty grew louder, echoing through taverns and town halls. British military presence increased, further fueling colonial resentment. The Boston Massacre escalated the conflict, stirring public outrage. Propaganda like Paul Revere's engraving galvanized colonial opinion. The Tea Act led the iconic Boston Tea Party. This act of defiance sent a clear message to the Crown. Britain's response to the intolerable acts, further restricting colonial freedoms. The First Continental Congress convened, uniting colonial leaders. Patrick Henry's powerful "Give me liberty or give me death" speech. Committees of correspondence spread news and coordinated resistance efforts. Enlightenment ideals profoundly influenced the revolutionary thought. Thomas Paine's common sense argued forcefully for independence. Colonial militias began training, preparing for an inevitable conflict. British attempts to disarm colonists sparked further defiance. The stage was set for an armed struggle for freedom. The shot heard round the world at Lexington and Concord. The American Revolutionary War had begun. Under George Washington's leadership, militias became the Continental Army. Early battles like Bunker Hill showed colonial determination. Despite hardships, morale remained high, fueled by revolutionary fervor. On July 4, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed. It proclaimed a new nation founded on liberty and self-determination. The Battle of Trenton, a crucial victory, boosted colonial spirits. Valley Forge, a brutal winter, testing the army's endurance. Foreign allies, especially France, provided vital support. Baron von Steuben trained the Continental Army into a formidable force. Saratoga, a decisive victory, convinced France to formally join. Naval battles, though smaller, disrupted British supply lines. Espionage and intelligence played a secret, vital role. Women supported the war effort as nurses, spies, and farmers. African Americans fought on both sides, seeking freedom and dignity. Guerrilla tactics by figures like Francis Marion harried British forces. The Siege of Yorktown, a joint Franco-American effort, trapped Cornwallis. Cornwallis's surrender effectively ended the major fighting. The challenge shifted from winning independence to building a republic. The Articles of Confederation proved too weak for governance. The Constitutional Convention in 1787 forged a new framework. Heated debates shaped fundamental principles of governance. It created a balance of power and checks and balances. The Bill of Rights guaranteed individual liberties and freedoms. George Washington became the first president uniting the young nation. His farewell address warned against factions and foreign entanglements. Alexander Hamilton's financial plan stabilized the economy, establishing national credit, a national bank, and uniform currency. Thomas Jefferson championed agrarian ideals and states' rights. Political parties emerged Federalists vs. Democratic Republicans. Early foreign policy involved navigating European conflicts. The Whiskey Rebellion tested the federal government's authority. The Supreme Court established judicial review in Marbury v. Madison. The young nation began to define its vast geographical boundaries. Challenges included Native American relations and territorial disputes. The capital moved to Washington, D.C., a new seat of power. From revolutionary ideals, a lasting framework took shape. America stood as an experiment in Republican governance. The Louisiana Purchase doubled the young nation's size. Lewis and Clark's expedition explored the vast, uncharted Western territories. Pioneers pushed frontiers, seeking new opportunities and land. New states joined the Union steadily, defining the nation's breadth. Conflict with Native Americans persisted as settlers encroached further. The War of 1812 asserted America's sovereignty against Britain. The burning of Washington, D.C. tested national resolve. The Star-Spangled Banner inspired national pride and identity. The era of good feelings brought political unity and national growth. The Monroe Doctrine declared American dominance in the Western Hemisphere. The corrupt bargain election of 1824 sparked political controversy. Andrew Jackson's presidency ushered in the age of the common man. The Trail of Tears, a tragic forced removal of Native Americans. The Erie Canal facilitated trade and westward migration. Industrialization transformed cities and economies in the North. Cotton became king in the South, relying heavily on slave labor. Abolitionist movements gained momentum, challenging slavery's morality. The Seneca Falls Convention launched the women's rights movement. Manifest Destiny fueled expansion across the continent. The Mexican-American War added vast new territories. The California Gold Rush sparked a massive population boom. Sectionalism deepened between North and South over slavery. compromises attempted to avert a looming national crisis. Despite divisions, a unique American identity continued to evolve. From a collection of colonies, a powerful and influential nation emerged. Its journey, constant evolution, marked by triumphs and tribulations. Building upon foundations laid by founders and countless individuals. A remarkable creation, always pursuing a more perfect union. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and see you next time.